Brings us the 09 of East Granby, Connecticut, Jay Miller. Outside of him, driving the 66, it will be Gales Ferry, Connecticut's Wendell Daly. Pastriac Paving, MJ Sawchuck, Luther Fence, American Billiards bring us the 66. Inside row number 2, All State Traffic Control and Above All Remodeling present Milford, Connecticut's number 98 of Frank Mucciacciaro. Fourth on our field will be the number 27. That will be Tyler Chadwick out of Ledyard, Connecticut. Fifth starting spot belongs to the number 26. It is Clinton, Connecticut's Don Fowler. To the right of him, driving the 35 out of Southington, Connecticut, it is Dennis Charette. On the inside of row number 4, he is the 6-time and defending track champion, driving the number 3, Bennett Excavating, Larry's Auto Machine Head Insurance for Salem, Connecticut's Dennis Gaeta. And next to him is the 81 out of Quaker Hill, Connecticut, it is Diego Monahan. Ninth starter is the number 49. From Lebanon, Connecticut, it is Zach Sylvester.
Sid DiMaggio will be ready to turn our field loose. So Sid gets the job done, and so does Jay Miller as he rampages his way into the early lead. On the outside, it is the 66 of Daly, but he has company. Frank Mucciacciaro off to a great start. A little bumping back in a pack as getting a shot was the 91 of Paul and the 10 of Colby, but everybody is able to make it through the first 4 corners. Nobody has made it through quicker than Jay Miller. Well, he achieved one objective tonight. He had a great run in his heat race to get a good starting position, but now he's got a problem. Hanging on him like a migrating headache is the 98 of Frank Mucciacciaro. Then it's the 66 of Daly. And also, guy who has been maybe the most consistent guy week after week, the Big D, Dennis Charette. Charette almost made a move underneath Daly, did not have enough bite to make it happen. But speaking of bite, Tyler Chadwick graduated from Grasso Tech last night. He is holding his own against a fellow Grasso Tech graduate, Diego Monahan. So those two guys, the battle of Grasso Tech going on for 5th and 6th, and now Diego able to get the nose of his car. The schnoz now of Chadwick's gets the advantage. At the front of the field, the story is the same. It is Jason Miller being chased by the 98 of Mucciacciaro. Now Monahan starts to get adventurous. He is climbing on the outside, trying to get the best of Wendell Daly. So Daly has the spot, but all over him, like white paint on a picket fence, is Diego Monahan in car number 81. Monahan tries it again. Doesn't work. Daly still has a lead by slivers. At the front of the field, it is still Jay Miller. Back in the pack. Monahan not giving up. As he makes that lunge, coming off of turn number 4, they barrel across the stripe. And it still looks like Daly to the naked eye. Remember, these cars have transponders. Frank Mucciacciaro might have a problem. Is coming up to contend for second. Dennis Charette, the Big D, thanks to he and his car owner, Chris Druin, they have been fast almost every week of the season. They had a clunker during the Budweiser Modified Nationals, but that has been it. Here he comes, outside of Mucciacciaro, making a statement, but it's not loud enough. Mucciacciaro still has the spot. Monahan in 4th. In 5th is Daly, and here comes that man again, Dennis Charette, as he screeches his way off the 4th corner, and he is able to get a half a car outside of the 98 of Mucciacciaro. So now the Big D is in 2nd. His mission will be to try to rattle the cage of Jay Miller. Nobody has been able to do that for the first 12 laps.
Miller grabbing the jump right from the start. He leads him in turn number 1. Looking to slice of that lead is Dennis Charette. Behind him, Frank Mucciacciaro, then Diego Monahan, Wendell Daly, and Tyler Chadwick make up our top 6. Dennis Gaeta now has moved into 7th spot with Donnie Fowler 8th, Zach Sylvester 9th, and in 10th, Jeff Pearl. That lead is ever so slightly being evaporated by the 35 of Dennis Charette as he is on the charge of Jay Miller. Miller holds it for just a bit. Now Charette begins to put the work on as he goes to the outside of Miller as they go down the backstretch. Charette with the power, with the handling, he is able to try to work his way even with Miller as they come off turn number 4. Miller by inches has the spot, but Charette gets into him just a bit, slides up the track. He'll fall back off the pace, but makes another challenge to that lead. Jay Miller looking to hang on. Behind them is Muchacharo and Monahan, but it is Dennis Charette and Jay Miller tethered together around the speedway. They touch in turn 1. Still battle as they go down the backstretch together. Charge into turn 3. Miller, then Charette, each one taking turns and inching their car out in front. Now it is Miller. As Charette falls back off, he'll move into the second spot and look to make another charge to the inside as we are halfway home as they come off turn number 4. Behind them, Frank Muchacharo, Diego Monahan, Wendell Daly 5th, and a battle as Dennis Gaeta looks to get underneath the 27 of Tyler Chadwick. Gaeta looks to move underneath that 27 as they go into turn. Trouble in the backstretch, his car around. It will be the 26 of Don Fowler as we look to stay under green. But Fowler comes to rest just inside turn number 2, and the yellow will fly for the 26 with 16. Jay Miller and Dennis Charette will look to lead him down. Miller gets the jump on Charette. He'll lead him into turn number 1. But here comes Diego Monahan to the outside of the 98 of Muchacharo. He looked to make a move on Charette, but was not able to do so. Behind him, here comes Dennis Gaeta. So the outside line is looking to try to pick up the pace and get involved in the action as Charette looks to go outside of the 09 of Miller. And here comes Monahan now as the top 3 go single file into turn number 3. Gaeta now to the outside of Monahan, but he'll slot back into the 4th spot. Muchacharo's drop kick to 5th as our leader, Jay Miller, continues to try to hold off the 35 of Dennis Charette. They rumble off turn number 4. Miller continues to be the man in command, but on his back bumper is the 35 of Dennis Charette, and behind them is Diego Monahan. And now Dennis Gaeta has begun to make his move as he tries to work his way all the way around Monahan. For the battle for 3rd, it is Diego Monahan trying to hold off Dennis Gaeta as they thunder into turn number 1.
So the Great One making a charge on the outside. Yellow flag is out as trouble in the middle of turns 3 and 4, bringing out the gold. So we had a 4-lap run of green flag action, and the move was being made by the Great One. This will be Jay Miller, sat out for an entire season, gets the upper hand on Dennis Charette. So Miller with a thrilling restart. Here comes Charette. It has taken Charette a while to get that car up to peak speed. Great battle for 3rd. Monahan bounced around slightly, and Gaeta takes over the number 3 position. Almost looking like one of those wiffle balls during the home run derby. Diego Monahan drifts back into 4th. Battle for 5th. Here comes Muchacharo. He is on the bottom. He is able to gain ground against Daly. Tyler Chadwick driving like a veteran. Trouble in the turn, and somebody bounces off the wall. Yellow out. Learned anything in 2006-7? That will not be easy. Here they come. Great effort by Miller again. Once again, he has come through. Gaeta falling off the pace, backing up the whole inside row. Charette has taken over. Dennis Charette is moved in the lead. Here is Diego Monahan to challenge him on the outside. Monahan getting the momentum from the outside groove. Miller now in 3rd, and Miller in 4th. Gaeta in 3rd as they steamroll their way across the stripe. It is Dennis Charette. Monahan did a great job making up the deficit. He has won features using the outside groove. So that outside edge is very friendly to Diego Monahan. Gaeta, does he have an opportunity for his 2nd win? He's right where he wants to be, behind our co-leaders, Charette and Monahan. Those 2 drivers Velcro together. They stampede across the stripe. Charette has the lead, looking for win number 1. This is not a fluke. He has had a great car all season long. His luck has not cooperated. Now Monahan making another bid on the outside, but Gaeta on the inside is scurried into 2nd. So it'll be up to Dennis Gaeta to make a charge as they go 3 wide on the backstretch, and the man left by is Miller, so he was spit out like a watermelon seed as he was ganged up on by Chadwick and by Sylvester, but the top 3 could fit inside a birdcage. The man doing the most flying is Dennis Charette. car number 35, trying to nail down his first win of the year. He is going to have to beat off the 6-time champion in order to do it. Yellow comes out. So the 76 car of Shelley Perry brings out the yellow. That's a 26 of Don Fowler in turn number 4. James Warner ready to turn him loose again. Charette dive bombs his way into turn 1. Gaeta's not giving up ground. Here he comes on the outside. Diego Monahan has moved into third. Zach Sylvester is right there. Dennis Charette has plenty of company with 2 laps to go.
A 4-car battle for the final 2 laps. Dennis Charette has the lead currently. Dennis Gaeta to the outside. Behind them, Sean Monahan and Zach Sylvester. They thunder off turn number 4. Dennis Charette has the lead as they cross the stripe. Gaeta continues to battle with him on the outside. They ripple their way off turn number 2. Down the backstretch, Charette has the advantage. Gaeta will look to make one last stand, one last shot as they roar off turn number 4. Give the win to Dennis Charette. And behind them, a tremendous accident between Wendell Daly, the 09 of Jay Miller, Donnie Fowler involved, Alan Coates.
I don't know if I've ever seen a car go that far in the air as a 66 of Wendell Daly just did. So our crew taking every precaution as they want to make sure that everything is done to assist Wendell Daly, involved in a terrible crash at the end of our 35-lap SK modified feature. They are stabilizing him on the board. And now Wendell is going to be lifted onto the stretcher. And they will secure him on that stretcher. And he will be taken for treatment. Wendell Daly, ladies and gentlemen. Once again, Wendell was able to move his arms. And right now we just, everyone here at the Speedbowl is wishing for the best from one of the class competitors. Not just competitors, one of the class human beings that we've met along the way in racing. And that, of course, is Wendell Daly. So he will be transported by our Waterford ambulance waves that finger in the air. Number one, his first win of the season. Dennis, you finally got that gorilla King Kong off your back. Of course, I think the best way to describe this win, bittersweet, great for you. Unfortunately, you couldn't control what happened behind you.
Yeah, that's exactly it. It is definitely some mixed emotions right now. Obviously, first and foremost, most important is let's all, keep our hopes and prayers that Wendell's okay. That's really unfortunate. I didn't get to see what happened, obviously, because it was behind us. But the crew said that he hit pretty hard. So we'll keep our thoughts with him. Hopefully, he'll be okay. As far as us tonight, really, like you said, it's mixed emotions. I'm going to try and contain them here. We finally got here. Really excited about that. I got to thank Brook Street Auto, Vernon Collision, Embroidery Works, Truck Builders of Connecticut. Those guys, they're the ones that help us, fund this thing. It takes a lot of help. The crew, Chris Jr., Charlie, Carol, my dad, Mike, Cheryl, everyone, my whole family for supporting me. I want to be excited, but right now it's a little more important to be concerned about Wendell.
And I know it had to be frustrating for you. And after the Budweiser Modified National, you had maybe the most consistent car week after week with really nothing to show for it. And how were you able to turn that around tonight?
You're absolutely right. We've had a really consistent car here. A lot of things happen that are out of your control. And, we've got caught up in some unfortunate circumstances, by the race and, maybe even myself. But we finally got ourselves together here. We went back to basics, and I went back to basics of trying to be smooth and consistent. And then the biggest thing is staying out of trouble. And, the last few weeks we've been fortunate enough to stay out of trouble. 4 of the last 5 races, I think we finished in the top 3. So if we could keep this consistency going, maybe we can make a run at the top 5. But most important is really just having a car that could contend for the win. And that's what Chris puts under me every week. And that's really what the most important part is. And now the rest is up to me to stay consistent. And if we do that, hopefully we'll get some more good finishes.
So that's our winner tonight in our SK Modified feature, Dennis Charette.